Thank you for downloading This Month in Drinking History, a comedy drinking game show where comedians compete to avoid picking up the bar tab. Just so you know, we do drink during these recordings, so as with every good pub conversation, some information will be inaccurate, facts can become distorted, and lies may be told. So grab your drink and join us.
This month in drinking history. Ha 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 ha.
Hello and welcome to This Month in Drinking History, a drink-along game show comedy podcast. Yeah, we don't know what that means either. So we'll move straight along with the first round, which is Who, What and Cheers. So first up, Raheil A.
Raheil, yeah.
And
Hello.
what is your drink of choice today, Raheil?
Well, in honour of Ramadan, I have decided to bring a mocktail.
Mocktail?
Yeah. Do you know what a mocktail is?
It's a cocktail without any drink in it.
Yep. So you can make fun of me for drinking that, that's fine.
We're never that type of bully culture.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got apple, pear, cucumber, spinach and ginger mixed in a drink.
Cool. And your chosen cheers?
It's Prost.
Prost, very German.
Yep.
Prost.
No, Dutch.
Dutch is
Dutch.
Well, it's both
Yeah.
actually.
Is it?
Yeah, Dutch got a lot of similarities between German and things like Danke in German and Dankeval. Very similar in language.
Okay, well, I'm going for the Dutch one,
Okay,
not the
Dutch,
German one.
Specific Dutch one,
Yeah.
no problem. Okay, so we have Thomas Craven. Thomas, can you tell us who you are and what your drink is?
I am Thomas Craven.
What I'm drinking Caesar Augustus. It's from the Alloa Brewery. Williamsboro's very nice beer. And just like Caesar's great empire, you will fall if you drink enough of it. So there we go.
Oh, well, you sold that. And,
Thank you very
your
much.
chosen cheers this?
My cheers would be in my native tongue, which I don't speak, which is Yakida.
Yakida. Wow, you're bringing it. You're bringing it.
I am
So
indeed.
we have a very special guest. We have Ben Verth. Ben.
Hello.
How are you doing? Can we give a who, drink, and how?
Who am I? I'm Ben Verth. I'm a comedian, and I spend every day of my life struggling to work out what else. And I'm drinking a Casillero del Diablo Pinot Grigio, which is from Chile, but immediately is from the shop around the corner.
Yes.
And my cheers is nothing so cultured. It's nothing language based. It's in honor of my dad, who he's very fond. He's got a verbal tick of saying "as the saying goes," but following a sentence where no explanation of that sentence is required.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just going out to the shop, as the saying goes.
Oh, man, yeah.
So my favorite one is always when he says "cheers," as the saying goes.
Brilliant.
So that's mine.
That's a top one. I'm liking that. It's got personal history involved. So good. So what we'll do, and we'll move on to the first round. So Raheil, as always, the first round is this month's reason for drinking. What is your this month's reason for drinking?
Well, I'm going to throw a curveball in right away. My reason for drinking is not drinking. Abstinence. Yeah.
Something you've been practicing your entire life.
Yeah, well, I
but
mean,
also extra for this month.
just for this month, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Does anyone believe him?
No.
No. Okay, that's good. That's fine. We've moved on. So your reason is not drinking. So you're getting very meta with it. I like
Yeah,
that.
my reason to drink is to not drink.
So it's a
There
very
you go.
there is no spoon moment.
Yeah. What even is a drink? Like, yeah.
I'm not your gran.
what-
You're all right. That sounds
what's-
like I don't even know what drink is, gran. This is just a cold. I don't know why. Oh, I've got really weak legs. That's why I can't
Yeah.
stand up anymore.
That's it.
So yeah, that's a comedy cult sack you painted us into, but well done. Right, we'll move on with Thomas. Thomas, what's your this month's reason for drinking?
My reason for drinking this month, it's not a happy one. It's my girlfriend's ill, and a cough is keeping me awake, so I find that being drunk helps me sleep better.
Thank you for explaining that to an insomniac.
Yes, well, that's how sleep usually works.
So it's not your concern for your girlfriend's health.
Well, no.
It's how
she's-
her stupid health
I
is
am very
impinging on you.
concerned. I am. She can't drink with her medication, so I've decided to drink twice as much, just in her honor. There's a very ominous tone going
The
on.
horror
Yeah.
music had to go in there because if she listens to this, yeah.
Oh, I think we can assume she won't. Hi, love.
I don't know who. I like that because the tone of an insult. I'm not quite sure at who. You know what I mean? It's like someone was definitely getting a boot, but we don't know who it was. It was either no one's listening to this shit podcast, or she would not. She's not going to listen to this. She doesn't have a sense of humor. Maybe it was an economy of like in language, and you did it to all.
It's it's Obi tuning in, going, this guy, he's marked for death now. Croby.
That's a Netflix special waiting to happen. And it's about a guy who pretended his girlfriend had a cough, but he actually murdered her in the woods, is what happened.
Yeah.
And then Obi goes to jail for it. That's it. Look, I don't know what happened. I was just talking about a wee pale blue dot, and then, I went to jail. I don't know.
We call it pluracy. Me?
Yeah.
I can't have done it. I was at acting classes.
Hey! Oh, someone else is up to date as well. That's brilliant. So,
I'm on Twitter.
So Ben, what is your this month's reason for drinking?
I like the celebratory nature when you sent. I don't know if I'm allowed to say when you sent the notes. Shown behind when you sent the notes. I noticed that it was supposed to be celebratory reasons.
Yeah, but no one ever gives a fuck what I read.
I know, I did.
You're breaking the mold here. I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. If someone who puts a lot of effort in this, I'm really enjoying the passion.
Let me tell you, as somebody who's had to write writing briefs himself, you write a good writing brief, mate.
Thank you very much.
And it was definitely celebratory. So I like that nature. Because I was going to go, the dismantling of female bodily rights in America. Boris Johnson might be the next prime minister. But actually, celebratory, I'm going to go for the same thing. Boris Johnson might be the next prime minister. It's a terrible thing, but also...
Explain.
Well, the moment he steps through the door in number 10, Scotland will be independent like 12 seconds later.
Right. I'm going to have to... this is my magic music for this.
There is no way that guy's walking through the front door and everyone's just going, we don't even need a referendum. We're just not anymore.
I get that, but you're relying on facts there, and it's very much nothing to do with that in referendums. People just vote for feelings now.
I can't imagine anybody. Anyone in Scotland.
What we should do, right, is have it like the X Factor. We should have Scotland, right, represented by one person up there having a really emotional cry about why all my oil's getting stolen, and my gran needs it for her chips, and do all that kind of shit, and just do it like a call-in, and we'll get independence in a day.
Oh yeah,
Ant and Dec, whatever there's the thing about Ant and Dec though, when he went to jail or whatever it was, he got bumped for being...
No, he didn't go to jail. He was
that's
in
right,
rehab.
he's a rich white man, that's right.
Justified.
They just apologise.
No one, and I was in loads of comedy clubs, no one made the joke about Ant being deckless, and I was really upset because I was like, you've got this time in history to make a joke about that, and no one did it. So
Did you?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't really gigging at the time because my leg was
But it's
keeping me...
here. It's preserved in
Yes, I crowbarred in!
the amber of SoundCloud. It is preserved here now.
Cool, that's awesome. So I think that is good for this month and reasons for drinking. So we'll move on. So, Raheil, we're going for your alco ad. What's your advert for alcohol this month?
Okay, so, because it's Ramadan...
You keep flogging that. Donkey.
Well, I like to tell people, obviously, because Ramadan usually means being like fully religious, but for me it just means I'm just less of a bad Muslim. So thanks for that. But so I thought I wanted to have a discussion about the nature of alcohol adverts a little bit, go a bit metaphysical here because of the spiritual month of Ramadan. So have you guys seen the advert with Jeff Bridges? When he has a bridge. No.
We have not.
So it's like his arms are the bridge and his head is above the bridge, and he's talking about how great Amstel beer is. And then just while people are trying to cross his bridge arms, he lifts his hand up and then grabs a beer.
Whose phone has the internet?
Everybody's How old are you, Ian? Everybody.
College elders have told us we can't have those things.
Does anyone have a Lexus?
Is it? Yeah. No, I'll play it if you want, but that. So genuinely, I think the nature of alcohol adverts, because we've done a few. Obviously, you don't know. Is it? I like to play the game. Is it a car? Is it perfume? Is it a fashion brand?
Yeah.
And then it's usually an alcohol company is just like crowbar.
I'm sorry, I totally stroked out there.
Yeah.
So this is Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, he's
As
a
a
bridge.
bridge.
Yeah, his arms are the bridge.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I would trust Jeff Bridges to give a solid performance.
But
let
this
alone
isn't
be a
ha-
bridge.
no,
That's
I
how
get
good an
it.
actor he is, though. Like his
I mean,
arms
he's-
nail it. Like, yeah.
Like
Oh,
he's
right.
gone into,
This
like,
didn't
meme
actually
territory.
happen. This is your advert.
I mean, yeah, but well, no, I think it's an advert. Like, I think I remember
I'm
it. Like,
This,
yeah.
this sounds like somebody who's been doing Ramadan, hasn't eaten enough, has become completely fevered, and this is what he's imagining round about 4
Yeah.
p.m.
Dream.
Because you know the point of this is to make one up,
He's just been
not
watching
just
a fly, and he's just like, and then he's
Yeah.
turned into a bridge again. It's a director's cut.
You shouldn't cut down on food and have more coffee to get you through the day. This
Yeah.
is what this is.
because remember in the brief that
Yeah, I know
you
you're
have
saying.
to make one up. You don't just review another ad.
Wait. Oh no, it's real. It is real.
Sounds surprised about
He
that.
gets. I think he got paid £7 million for that. That's
What?
yeah. Yeah, look, he's a bridge.
Yeah,
there you go.
I get it.
He's
No,
a
I
real.
get it.
Yeah.
I understand
Alright.
what you're saying here.
Well,
right? But
yeah.
I'm still struggling to understand the relevance in this quiz because
Well,
you were supposed to make
It's
one
called
up.
it's called an introduction, right? When I'm saying the nature of adverts in general, and then I will say so based upon
Getting
that.
old Bamber gas going
Yeah.
on you, Raheil.
Based on that, then obviously I would just get other celebrities that have structural things in their names,
Go on.
like Flight of the Conchords. So they'd be on a flight, you'd be flying on them.
It's a flight of structure.
And how is that relevant to alcohol?
Concord's a structure, like.
Not anymore. Not since
Oh, the
I-
points
well,
you're
yeah.
losing here is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I mean,
It's
no,
like-
Flight of the Conchords is, and then I'm trying to think of. I mean, do you know any other celebrities with structures?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah,
It's a dam.
yeah,
That's a structure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, see, alcohol. I don't know. I'm not shouting out like some kind of desperation of a man that wants some. I'm just kind of getting crowbarring it back to the point of the quiz. What?
So, like, it's a surreal advert, okay? And I think that's what
But
I'm
it's
trying to
not
get a
yours,
point
is
of.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but, like, what's that?
Was it?
Do you say you need original content? Is that what you want? Like,
You know, that was
yeah.
kind of what I thought when I thought, how good a quiz would this be when we just all come up with kind of wacky ideas for
Yeah.
adverts. But you know, I'm regretting this
Well,
one.
look, I want to workshop it then.
Oh,
Let's
I know
do
what you
it.
mean,
Yeah.
like River
yeah.
Phoenix, and it's a river of booze.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. See, you know,
See, that's what he means. That's, you know.
yeah,
Geological structure.
yeah.
There we go.
I spent way too much time on this soundboard. I don't care. It's one of my favourite things. So, Thomas,
Hello.
can you give us this month's advert for drinking, please?
Mine's
please.
more of a personal grievance against a brand that I've turned into an advert.
I'm
So
enjoying that. That's good. A wee bit of hate sales.
I think it's more just to do with my teens and growing up and being drunk off my ass on this. It's Strongbow. So the ad is for Strongbow. It's Strongbow because you never knew cat's piss could be served with blackcurrant. There we go. I hate Strongbow. I think it's just something about the smell of warm bow when you're waking up hungover, possibly with cigarette butts in it, that just turns my stomach.
Yeah, I can understand that. That sounds just. It's probably the dictionary definition of what regret smells like.
Absolutely. And the taste is not much either, I must say. Yeah.
No, it's one of these ciders though that they've kind of just waved an apple at as well because it's really just all science now.
Yeah.
I'm not flat earther. I'm not getting at science. It's done some wonderful things. But
You see the ads with like the actual like the two arrows hitting a bar, and you're like,
Thunk,
"Who is
thunk.
that for?" I mean, there's a select bunch of archers that are really in just the like really low quality apples.
I'll tell you though, that is William Tell joke. That's the whole thing. Strongbow.
Oh right, okay.
I'm assuming.
Sorry, I didn't realize Strongbow was cultured.
No, but
Who is William Tell?
William Tell. You've heard the story of the man shooting the arrow into the apple in his son's head.
I mean, I've seen it ripped off in many things.
Well,
but
it's
I've not
William
heard the
Tell. William
story.
Tell was a really famous archer. He's kind of one of the things that they based the Robin Hood myth on and all that kind of stuff. But the story goes, he was summoned before I can't remember, the king or some dignitary, and he was made to show off his prowess, and he fired this arrow, and he did a very, very famous kind of thing, right? And he went, so what they did was they took his son, tied him to a tree, whapped an arrow in his son's head, and made him shoot the arrow into the apple, right? Oh, but he did it. Whap, he's a great
Yeah.
archer, right? But the twist of the story is when they were congratulating him, when he kneeled down in front of the king to receive his word, another arrow fell out of his inside his clothing. He wasn't allowed any more than one arrow.
Right.
Right. And the king asked him what was that for. He says, if I'd have hit my kid with the first arrow, that one was going in your heart. That's the story. So did you guys know? You're all looking at me as if I'm insane.
You're right. My knowledge of it goes as far as like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's great. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I know. I thought everybody just knew this story.
No,
I'm like,
no.
Well,
It's like-
this might be because I'm a 43-year-old insomniac and I read a lot. Right?
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
so- but that's where the William Tell Overture and all
So
that comes
it's-
from.
That
It's-
Coldplay song, like shoot an apple off his head or something as well.
I mean,
That's the limit.
it
of
was in James
apples.
Bond. It was in Spectre. It was in that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I respect James Bond more
Yeah.
than the Coldplay.
it was in.
in this. But most of all, I respect the knowledge.
Yeah,
I respect the knowledge.
Exactly. There you go.
we'll
the
bow down to the greater
secret
knowledge.
history of Strongbow there.
Yeah.
So, well, see, no, but I just assumed. Now, I assumed everyone knew that story as well. I'm kind of going,
All Strongbow
maybe.
drinkers know that story. They definitely don't take it at face value. It's just the
Moron, you mean
Yeah.
you didn't know that? That's what the Archers, the apple, the fucking, come on, son.
And where would we be without science, eh? Like, it's done some good things for us.
things.
The bow and arrow.
Wow, no, I'm physically red.
No, it's okay. People
So
don't know
Ben,
things.
what is your advert for drinking this month?
So okay, I tried to make up. I don't know. So I'm not sure which one to pick. Specifically, I wanted to.
Sorry, I'm going to stop you there. You see that, guys? Which one to pick?
neither of them.
He told me not to do it, to be fair.
Neither of them particularly fleshed out.
So, you are so on my Christmas card list. I'll just keep sending you a basket of good things every month. Just like, cheers, Ben.
My idea of your Christmas card list, a man of tattoos as you are, is it's not a card. You just like send somebody
of people.
around.
Bits of skin, yeah.
Just stands at my front door with like a Merry Christmas on their back.
Just opens an old fucking coat with Merry Christmas written across his collar.
Yeah.
Dismembered arms. This guy didn't pay.
Gee, that Ian, he's a great guy. See you next year.
It's really cold.
Okay, so I wanted to do. I wanted to do an advert where it's like an alleyway and it's like a couple of hipsters like beating up like this old guy with like a brown jacket on.
Kind of clockwork orangey type feel. There.
Yeah, you know that. It's in the underpass. They're all battering a tramp, and then and then they all go off and they're all high-fiving themselves, and then more and more people gather around and they all go off together, and then it just pulls back and says "Brewdog" for the morally corrupt in society. Because have you been reading the whole thing?
And then find out that the old guy that were beating up was actually the guy who was the head of the ad agency they ripped off trying to headhunt.
Oh no! So the old guy, he's just like trying to run like a proper oldie timey off license round the corner.
Oh my god!
And then they've stolen his jacket and went, "These jackets look cool. We're having them. We Brewdog." Because you read all that kind of stuff about
horrific.
like Brewdog are just like fucking. So I don't know if you've seen this. Brewdog. So they've had a bit of a history about closing down like smaller businesses than they are. There was some weird one where somebody wanted to like start like a Daft Punk themed fucking bar somewhere in Nottingham, I think, or something like that, and he wanted to call it like Draft Punk. And because they have a punk IPA, they were getting on his case about you can't call it that.
Which they stole.
Yeah.
The idea they stole. Because
Again, another one. Yeah.
Because what they were doing was they were contacting and trying to like headhunt ad execs.
Yeah.
And then getting them to fill out marketing strategies and go and send it. These aren't obviously, we're not going to use these, but fill out all these marketing strategies, having meetings with them, all that kind of stuff, but not doing it with one, doing it with like several marketing people. And then just cherry picking ideas and then stringing them along, offering them jobs to the point some people moved countries because of the promise of a job, and then just dinged them, just ghosted them like.
So somebody who was already
to be known
working.
as punks, so I guess they got their dream.
But yeah, it was like folks that were already working for like big companies.
Yeah.
And they went, okay, well, part of this job interview, come in and see us first and foremost. Design a year's worth of marketing for us.
Jesus.
And then they would be like handing this thing, and they go, oh, thanks.
Do all the work.
Sorry,
might
we're looking for someone a little different from you. And then like a couple of weeks later, these folks will see their work like actually enacted. So there's Brewdog. Was it you that I was talking to about Nigerian Guinness?
Yes, because we were talking about Calabash.
Yeah. So I went along and tried one, and I just want to do like the Nigerian strength Guinness, where like the tagline is, "Oh my God,"
which you don't
it's just
actually
a
know.
guy doing that and then holding that up, and then
That's it was actually that's Kosa.
All right.
Sorry,
No, it's not.
Kosa's the throat language. No,
Oh, right, okay.
Oh no, I was just like,
I
no,
know you were.
oh my God, please do not make it out like I'm a racist guy
Yeah.
on this.
You
I
made
was
it worse.
I was just doing one of those, like, you know, like those carry-on-esque. A guy takes some strong liquor and he's like, "Whoa, what you
I
got now?"
totally got it. But I
of
genuinely couldn't help myself.
It's a limited edition branded, not heard of, you know.
I hope everybody gets to veto edits.
Oh no! I love the fact there's another white guy claiming I'm not a racist, and everyone's going, "Sure, you're not a racist."
Can we veto other
Some of my
people's
best
stuff?
friends are black guys.
Just as a point of reference, right here, Ben Verth is very much not a racist. We have a brown man here, and he hasn't tried to hit him once.
Although I forgot to shake your hand on the
Oh,
way.
yeah, I know, yeah. I mean,
Oh God, white!
It's a
It's just
bit
like white guilt just
passive
happening right in front of me.
Oh no!
That was awesome. No, see, but you're right. The Nigerian Guinness is like getting hit with a bat, man. It's proper.
It's incredibly enjoyable.
Yeah, but
Do you know the percentage?
it's. I don't think it's written in English. Just
It's not written in English.
no,
That's a
it's
new one.
literally that. It's like no Arabic numbers. It's just a question mark going. Come on, it's fine.
Like one of those upside down
you're not
Spanish
right,
question marks.
It's just like an insult bang.
It's just an emoji of a guy going, I don't know. What you drinking this? Why do you need to know?
But you you have one and you just go.
That's enough.
Oh, more please. But yeah, it's a wee adventure. So, so I think we're done with that one. I think we'll move on to the next section. So my favourite section actually is the Alco Facts of History. As everyone desperately jumps for their notes, I think we'll mix up a little and we'll go to Thomas. Thomas.
Yes, go to the man who's still looking at the facts.
It's the facts. Okay, well, we'll go straight to Ben. Ben is the man who actually has done something. Who's my favourite of this podcast?
He has a yellow legal pad.
Yeah,
that
I know, I
reminds me of
like
being
that
at
as well.
university.
It's
Proper writing.
Yeah,
Proper
exactly.
yellow legal pad. I was like, weird fact is what all of Jerry Seinfeld's notes were always written on.
I spend a lot of time trying to create habits that equate to doing the job.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time reading, like kind of like books about people's day and how they go about their day.
Right.
And there's a blog as well called like morningroutine.com, and it's just loads of successful people, and it talks about.
Are you a serial killer? That's very sociopathic behaviour.
I
That's
just
like,
want to achieve.
because
he's
it's
just
like
prepared.
it's like trying to fit in.
It's not. I'm not trying to work out where people are at any given moment, so my van can draw with the least amount of hassle in the street.
Yeah, he's not observing their actual morning routines as it
but
happens. He's reading an
sociopath.
account.
I know, but sociopaths have a problem actually physically, like function in reality because they don't get it.
Yeah.
So that.
If I was left up to my own devices, I'd lie in my bed all day and just be, have like a loaf of bread next to my bed. And
That's just a human condition, though,
that
isn't it?
into my.
Literally what my plan is for tomorrow. I have.
He's already bought the bread.
bought a loaf of
He's
bread.
already bought the bread.
Oh yeah, it's proper like
Yeah.
fucking
That's it,
baker's level stuff. None of your.
No, superseded, man. Superseded. Gotta get that fibre in.
Sandwich.
So
Good
sorry.
sandwich, yeah.
Cool.
So so my fact is, so this was always one of my favourite facts, and I'm trying to write a bit about it. So maybe this is the first debut of the idea, not the laughs, maybe.
Patent
Though
pending.
hopefully.
The seed.
I used to be a tour guide at Mary King's Close in Edinburgh. You know that kind of. It's the idea of the hidden underground plague streets beneath Edinburgh.
Right.
So I used to be one of the guys who would kind of like dress up in costume and take folks around. And people go because of the ghosts and the kind of the scary atmosphere. But actually, really, it's a more historical thing. Like, they take great pains to kind of explain what life would have been like. And one of my favourite facts always was that because the main source of water in the medieval period was the Nor Loch, which is now Princess Street Gardens, because it was so filthy, it was so dirty, you had to do something to treat the water in order to, provide hydration for the population of the city. And what that meant was, rather than just kind of cleaning it, it was making it into beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so rather than water, people drinking water, people would like start their day with a quart of beer. So we're talking like a quart, like bigger than a pint. They'd start with bigger than like a pint and a half of strong medieval beer, and then basically top themselves up for the entirety of the day.
History's all pissed. That's the thing.
This is what I'm talking. So this is probably the first time in history, this kind of society that we live in now, where not everybody is drunk all of the time.
Gold star, Ben. This was the entire point of this whole podcast.
He's understood the format.
Understood it. No, because this is the thing. Even when you go right back to Alexander the Great and all that kind of stuff, one of the biggest causes of death for his army was drinking the water.
Yeah.
Right? It used to be a punishable offence to drink not wine. If you drank water instead of wine, they would punish the soldiers. It was actual punishment. You would get punishment for not drinking alcohol.
The thought process was, we're going to boil the water, let's ferment some shit in it anyway.
It's easier.
Well, let's make it tasty.
Nice.
So my whole thing about history is that we've developed in the last 100 years more than society has developed over the last 2,000. And that's maybe because everyone has cooled it on being
Sobered up a bit.
24. Like people have sobered up, like just enough. Like they've still like had a bit of a drink with their dinner, but they're not fucking smashed by
All
like
the
10
time.
a.m. So they've been able to develop society and inventions and technology, and now this is why everyone's suddenly on Twitter going, this is me in my life. It's because people for the first time woke up, they've got a hangover and went, fuck, I need to change some stuff. What do I actually want to be? Okay, maybe this. They've actually given some thought.
100%.
That's my favorite history fact. Everyone just got fucking mangled because
History
water
has
was
always been
untouchable.
pissed, because you couldn't drink water. Fuck you guys. Ben wins this show.
Oh, thanks, mate.
But when did bottled water come into existence?
Well, that was Perrier kind of making a joke about Americans.
Right, okay.
They're like, how stupid do we think Americans are? I bet we could sell them water. That was
That
was pretty much-
like bottled water is more expensive than oil in certain brands.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons Nestle's evil.
Right. Okay.
Plastic is made of oil, so there we go.
Very
Circle.
meta. So,
Yeah, that's why they stopped.
10 out of 10 has an amazing history fact, Ben.
So much,
No, I
that's
really
that's
like
why
it.
they stopped, or were forced to stop being the sponsor for the Edinburgh Comedy Award,
Right.
Perrier.
which is now so Perrier, so it was the Perrier Award
Yeah,
up until
for-
about like 2000, I think maybe, and people still call it the Perrier Award.
Yeah, still
It's
good.
now come full circle. It's Foster's that sponsor, so it's proper alcohol. It's alcohol now that are sponsoring.
Because
it.
we were the only one, like the Edinburgh Festival was the only one that didn't have a drink sponsor, wasn't it? For years and years and years. It was the only one, because Melbourne...
alcohol sponsor,
Yeah, it was the
yeah.
only one that didn't have an alcohol sponsor,
Yeah.
because Perrier had the very famous Perrier Award, but Melbourne was Coors, I think, for ages, and then
Yeah.
Miller. And the Australian one, I can't remember what it was, but there was another drinks company that
Yeah.
sponsored it. And then Glasgow was always Magners for a while, and then it
White
jumps about from
Mackay.
that,
Yeah.
White Mackay. But Edinburgh was the only one worldwide. It was one of the
Yeah.
biggest not
And
to
it was
have an alcohol.
water.
Now
Hey,
it's
we're water. Oh no, we're also selling fucking condensed milk to Africa. So I tell you what. Here's another. This is one of my other favorite. It's not a historical fact, but Foster's coming full circle to be the Edinburgh Comedy sponsor is because it was popularised as the Australian lager because of comedy in the first place. Do you know this? Did you know this? So it was very little known until it became the drink of choice in a comic strip in Private Eye. Called The Adventures of Barry Mackenzie, which was written by Barry Humphries, who was Dame Edna Everage and Peter Cook.
Yeah.
And when they started making it, so the comic strip was very famous. Then they made it into 2 movies, wherein Barry Mackenzie's aunt was Dame Edna Everage, and it was because of this kind of comedy relation to Foster's that it became suddenly the drink, the lager, the Australian lager in Britain.
The Senna they used to play as well, 'cause
Les Patterson.
Like he would always be on stage
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the can of Fosters, the
Yeah.
crazy oversized can of Fosters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So so the same person who is now transphobic. It's also the person who introduced Fosters to the United Kingdom.
See, that's one of the things you kind of want to go, what? Dame
Yeah.
Edna Edridge is transphobic.
Really?
Yeah, have you not heard it? That's
I've
why
heard
it's
that
not.
as well.
That's why it's not a Barry Award now in the Australia comedy festivals. Is it Melbourne, Sydney? What is it?
I went to Australia, and you think, oh, they'll probably have Fosters everywhere. No,
No.
they had all the promotion stuff for it, but it had all the faded glory of something that died in the 90s on its ass, like half Fs just everywhere. And they're like, someone at the bar, like an English spoke, be like, what, no Fosters? And they'd be like, fuck off, mate. They'd be like, no, not you. They drink VB, which is not that much better, in my opinion. Sorry, alcohol fans, especially Aussies, if you are listening. Not that better.
Is Castlemaine 4X still a thing?
No, but my dad used to love that.
Because that was another one that was just very much style over content. That was they had Crocodile Dundee do all the adverts for that, but as Crocodile Dundee. I mean, he'd just be on and he'd be like fishing. People would be pulling sharks out of the water a foot long, going, "Can I borrow your bite, mate?" And then he was going to go fishing with a 6-inch thick rope with a fucking hook on the end of it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of, look at me, I'm a man. It was just the most ridiculous.
That's just going back to the adverts now, isn't it?
That's what used to
Actually, I'm going
happen.
to change my advert now. So there's a man on a boat.
And I just veto the one from earlier, so you can edit around it.
Oh, yeah.
But this
my
We're
God.
gonna need a bigger can.
Hey, can you imagine that? It's Jaws. They're standing on the boat. Instead of we're going to need a bigger boat, we're going to need to get more drunk than this.
Well, see, no, that would be my first instinct if you're going,
Yeah.
right, fuck it, let's get fucked up. We're not because I'm not out swimming this bastard.
Cut to the end of the film. There's just cans everywhere, and there's like 5 Jawses.
I fucked that. Telling ridiculous lies. You've got a big one in a headlock going, I fucking love you, mate. So, Thomas,
Hello.
your alco fact of history.
My alco fact of history is Robert Dudley from the University of California is a physiologist who first suggested that the idea, call it the drunken monkey hypothesis, which is the idea that primates ventured down out of the trees and got to access a brand new food source. And he says, if you can smell the alcohol and get to the fruit faster, you have the advantage. You defeat the competition and get more calories. And it says also the ones that stuffed themselves were most likely to succeed at reproduction.
So, what you basically saying is...
Hang on. And experience, brackets while eating, a gentle rush of pleasure to the brain. The buzz reinforced the appeal of the new lifestyle.
Right.
Which is pretty much accurate in this day and age. Friday night in Glasgow.
I was actually going to say, the more kind of like
reproduce.
smelling the thing, it's more like a Glasgow sports day. Because
the smell of alcohol evaporating off you.
I know, because that's
the
the dads and the mums in the background all fucking fighting off the hangovers because of the horror actually dealing with other kids, mums and dads. They're all in the back. There's fat, round children running about trying to get
This is an
egg
insight
and
into
spoon
your
race.
childhood, man.
It's not
like-
really. My mum very rarely drank, but so.
That's good.
Why is that something to be sad about? He's like, my mum didn't drink that much. Oh.
Because then I always just assume that's where like Ian got his look from, like troubled childhood, like so.
I think
Shots fired.
you're a very handsome man, mate.
You are already winning this podcast. You're fine. Don't worry, Ben.
You charmer.
But no, like the drunken monkey thing's really cool because a lot of like holiday destinations where monkeys are there, they actually come down and steal the tourist drinks and they get pissed and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen it. It's in like the David Attenborough Life as well.
Actual
Yeah,
style of kung fu as well.
yeah.
The drunken monkey.
Is it Gibraltar?
Love to have seen that at the end of Karate Kid.
Gibraltar, the
On your
British
farm.
colony has
Yeah.
monkeys.
It's
Yeah,
the drunken
monkeys.
Scottish monkey.
yeah.
I don't know.
The monkeys are protected in Gibraltar.
Yeah,
And they
Gibraltar, you can't. They'd like climb on you, and you're not allowed to like hit them.
I bet they'll pitch.
You're not allowed to hit monkeys anyway. I think.
No,
Like, yeah.
it's usually frowned upon.
Well, but all rules in comedy never punch down.
Yeah.
When you said the monkeys are protected in Gibraltar, I thought, well, is Raheil like a Russian sleeper agent that you're trying to
He is
activate with a trigger
The
phrase?
swans are diving off the southeast coast.
It's just the way you said it. I don't-
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to
No,
assassinate.
my
shots.
trigger phrase is there are grey squirrels in the loft.
So, right. So the facts, essentially, what you're saying is the monkeys came down. They had an evolutionary advantage from eating rotten fruit.
No,
that had the
say-
alcohol in
Yeah,
them.
exactly. They're saying that they could smell the fermented fruit. They'd come down, eat the fruit. They become more bold, obviously, because they were getting drunk off
'Cause
the
they were
fruit.
pissed, yeah.
And because they were pissed up, they were just shagging away and then eating more fruit. Like when
It
you're
just
really
sounds like Cardiff, mate.
exactly. Well, it
It's-
sounds like any major city in the UK on a Saturday night, as we're trying to say. But you know, the more you drink, the more you want to eat, the more you want to bang.
There's
There
a
you go.
beautiful
The
Mitch
circle of
not
life.
Mitch Henberg joke where he says, I was outside a 7-Eleven and I saw a wino eating grapes and I just shouted at him, "Hey, buddy, you have to wait." Which is just fucking genius.
And in honor of that joke, I bought grapes. Like, so yeah.
And they are fermented, so there
I
you
mean,
go.
well, no, they're
He's going to
they're
win.
nice, yeah. We've got
Eventually,
away, like.
yeah.
Actually, that could be a thing. We could make that the legacy. Whatever's left over, we'll try and ferment our own wine.
Yeah, you take away and work on that. So, Raheil, moving swiftly on, what is your alcohol fact?
Okay, so my fact is, as we know, I am Muslim. So, and the one
keep
time,
flogging that horse.
yeah, I know,
You
yeah,
never
I mean,
mention it.
I know, I
Honestly,
know.
This is a revelation.
Like, so I went to Pakistan a while ago, and actually in Pakistan it's illegal to drink alcohol unless you fill in a government form declaring that you are a non-Muslim. So you need to like provide your passport and like government like proof that you do not claim to follow the religion. So you get a special exemption. And then, because this is in the hotel that I was staying at, they did have alcohol.
I can understand why it's
Yeah.
not the number one destination for stag parties.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Yeah,
You just
I
say dual nationality.
yeah.
I'd love to see that in Pakistan. Guy with a good banana, and the other guy behind him with a blow-up doll. What do you mean when you fill out this 87/5-2 to drink? Folks,
Yeah.
It's 10 a.m. I'm really thirsty.
So, because obviously, like a lot of Muslim countries ban alcohol, but
I
you
was
know,
in Dubai years ago.
yeah.
And I got this is true. I had to bribe the guard. There's a thing, right? I was coming back from the Borneo tattoo convention. Now, Borneo's in two sections. In Sarawak, which is the big kind of jungle part where orangutans come from and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And Brunei's the top bit. But you've probably heard very recently in the news they're going to kill gay people. Right? They genuinely don't give a fuck. It's a very, very rich country.
Yeah, they supply a lot of oil. So,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a
Kinda
very, very
overlook that
oil-rich country.
human
No one
rights
pays
abuse.
tax.
Yeah.
There's no taxing laws there, right? Everything's paid for the oil, right? But they genuinely don't care, right? So everything's very, very strict. And as a non-Muslim, you're allowed to bring in one bottle of alcohol. But I had a stopover there on the way back, and I had 7 bottles of Tuak, which is a Iban rice wine, which is hallucinogenic, which is fucking awesome, by the way. Right? But I had 7 bottles of that in my luggage that goes in the hold, and I had a bottle of Absolute vodka in my carry-on. Now, they had to go through my luggage, and then they're looking at me like this as the guy goes through my carry-on.
Are you saying you were profiled?
No, they're literally, the people with my hold luggage are looking at me with my hands on the zips. And my bottle, the bottles are clinking as these things move. They know it's full of alcohol, right? And the guy's gone through my carry-on and he finds the Absolute, obviously. I'm allowed 1 bottle, that's fine. But I have VCDs of a Spider-Man and the first, I'm probably admitting to a crime now, but it's more than 7 years, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Of a Spider-Man and
This is where you're admitting to the crime. This is.
Yeah.
It's, I don't care.
Next week you get booked to Dubai, you're like,
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going through this, and they find these VCDs. It's Spider-Man, I think it's the first Lord of the Rings movie. And the guy goes, I buy from you. Right? And they're looking at me, and I just went, you keep them, that's fine. And they don't even open my luggage. They just zip my stuff back up and let me go, and I'm just on my way, and I'm fine. But I felt so bad for the German couple after me because they didn't get the ruse. Right, they were literally So the guy comes, he's like, "Oh, I buy from you," and they're like, "No." Their luggage just got fucking burst open, and just shit went everywhere. It was like, man, you're in somebody else's country. But I got totally steaming that night. I drank that entire bottle of vodka like a mark of protest because I knew it was a crime to be drunk in the country. And I was like, I haven't felt this buzz since I was 17 years old. You know what I mean? Remember that? You don't get that same. Oh, I'm breaking the law of drinking, and then I was like, no, you don't get a slap in the wrist here. They kill you. The paranoia kicked in after the bottle of vodka was done because I saw the fire chart. I went, what if there's a fire alarm? Oh no! Right, so that's it was a bad.
That is
bad
what makes it
outside.
that's what makes drinking so much fun as a Muslim, or doing anything that you're not supposed to do. You know, that forbidden element.
That's
so
possibly the best advert for religion I've ever heard.
yeah. But because we were saying, like, obviously about people being pissed in
I think
that.
that's why Catholics fuck kids. Is that?
Oh no! Because all that communion wine.
This is why Islam is a better religion. You're just like you're entirely consumer geared.
Yeah.
It's just, the Catholic Church. They're like, oh, jeez, that is a hot 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Right there.
Times like this, I think it's
Because
easy
I'll
being
just
an
I'll just get a
atheist, isn't
pint.
it? Yeah.
I'll get a pint and a bacon sandwich. No paedophilia.
No, that was wow.
And I
no.
say that as somebody who was a Catholic in remission. as I like to say,
I was
so,
worried where you were going.
know.
I thought it was going to. I've said that as either I've been pumped by a Catholic priest, or I say that fully as a Catholic who's pumped kids.
So, someone who has to deal with Catholicism every day of their life, I feel that I can call out that.
No, that's great because the way you said it made you sound like you were fighting it like Daredevil at night. It's like I have to deal with it.
kids.
When you said it's a remission, I was like, oh no, is he going to relapse?
Yeah, just lying there in
It
bed.
does happen. Yeah.
Pass me more Nigerian Guinness.
Wake up fucking doing the cross. Like, no, I've learned how to genuflect again.
Doing the cross like it's a dance move.
Yeah.
that old people do. It's like there's the cross, there's the schloss.
There's the monkey and
The floss and cross.
We need to send that to Fortnite, like when they put in a new
cross?
dance move. Yeah, the
They
cross.
need to make more money from ripping off
Spectacle
dance
ball and
moves,
watch
don't
that
they?
one.
But then once they do that, the Catholic one, then somebody will just try and get them to do the Muslim one of like Salat, and then the game will be banned. Like that's it. Yeah.
I think we're done with that section before we end up with a hate crime. We're going to go with Raheil with this one. Raheil, what is your new cocktail?
So like I said, it's Ramadan.
Really?
Like I'm just saying it to keep reminding myself. So I try and be a better person, But I have taken to Ramadan like how modern Christians have taken to Lent. I've redefined it entirely to fit my own purpose. So I'm just excluding like alcohol and pork, things that I'm already not supposed to have as a Muslim. I'm now just cutting back. Like that's it.
So you're still having like meals in the day.
Yeah. I'm still eating. I'm still.
You're not getting up like
doing all
4
that.
a.m.
No,
to have an omelette or something.
no.
Should
I'm-
just rename it Denial Month. He's like, I'll just make up the rules on the spot.
Yeah, well, no, but
Ramadou.
Rama do what I want. Rama do it.
Rama going to do what I want anyway. You're not my real dad.
Yeah. So based on that, I thought I'd go for like a mocktail, like like what I'm drinking. But so have we had goji berries before? Do you know what they are? They've got more vitamin C than oranges. No. Goji berries.
Is it really a test? Is it really
Yeah.
like is
No,
it
I'm just
competition?
basically I've been to Holland and Barrett's and I've bought some I've bought some healthy foods.
He's off his tits and cod liver oil.
I've got a lot of magnesium in my system.
I'm so glad I picked
It's
the day to
a
start drinking
it's a
again.
health cocktail. So goji berries. It's not necessarily a drink. Does cocktail have to be a drink?
Well,
Okay,
by the definition.
Yeah,
yes.
so you put it in a blender. It's a lot of nuts and pulses. So we've got some vitamin D in there. We've got some magnesium. We've got some zinc. We've got some calcium, to help absorb that vitamin D. We've got a lot of
I
things.
like how you looked at me when you said
Yeah.
vitamin D. You can
Yeah,
tell
I
I'm
mean,
that deprived
you
of
do
it,
look like you need some sun. Yeah, so
What?
just watched you like
I
go.
was moved
Yeah.
it. I was
Yeah.
moving things. I wasn't actually going
Yeah.
We're like, boo, Tom doesn't need the
So yeah, so the new cocktail is basically about it comes with self improvement. It's all these minerals and vitamins.
This is just a Barocca that you're describing. It's a thing.
No, but
already.
it's like £20 and it's got like
It's so
I spent a
Barocca.
lot of money. Like,
it's going to end with Bassett, soft and chewy vitamins.
There's Barocca in it as well, okay, but I mean other brands of energy tablet are available.
You're not working for the
like,
BBC anymore, mate.
yeah, it's fine.
generic brand.
Yeah, so you can have like that, and then but a part of the big part, the selling point of this is not just the minerals and supplements, and then mixed with some nice vitamin water, which I think ironically is actually very bad for you. Yeah. Then it comes with,
I'm already bored.
all right, so you don't want to hear the rest of my cocktail?
There's more.
It comes with an 8-week course of CBT therapy, included in the price.
I'll tell you what.
Hence cocktail.
Lead with that.
All right, okay. But then they might not come for the cocktail; they might just come from the therapy. like,
Hey, whoever gets the punters in the door. That's it. Bums in seats, ladies and gentlemen. Bums in seats. So, Thomas, what is your new cocktail you're going to grace us with?
I've made up a cocktail. As the only non-Scottish person in the room, I thought I'm the most apt to make a Scottish cocktail, so I've called it a Scot Tail. And it's got single malt whiskey in it. It's got gold top milk. I don't know why. That's from Jersey, I've been told. It's got honey and a blended deep fried Mars bar with a little pizza crunch garnish on the side, because I thought that in the cocktail would be weird.
why are you appropriating my culture right now?
I thought I would do a Welsh cocktail, but the idea of like...
I don't come here doing Welsh things.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, get out of your Welshie. No, I don't know. What do you think, guys? Based on those list of ingredients, I thought it was kind of quite respectful. I realised the
know
deep
what, though?
fried Mars bar is
Maybe not.
one of those stereotypes. People like
I'd
only
100% get behind this.
you
Yeah.
get behind it.
I mean, it
You're
sounds
from
delicious.
Edinburgh. You
I-
could sell
yeah.
the shit out of that.
Oh yeah,
No, I just like
reckon
having
that
a
would be
drink
quite
and then a
tasty.
delicious bit of pizza.
yeah.
Yeah, like the
It's a
pizza
gold
crust.
Oh,
goes
yeah,
with it.
yeah.
You know,
Oh my
like it's
God.
a slice of lime just hanging off the
Yeah.
side of the glass, just like.
Well, okay,
like the
so when you
pizza
have a
crunch.
Bloody Mary, and you get like some celery, I'm
yeah, that's
delighted by
I
that.
should have called
Yeah.
it Bloody Mary of Scots.
Yeah, and then
No,
so you just
yeah.
go,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so Bloody Mary, Queen of Scots, and it's not vegetable; it's a delicious bit of pizza.
I'm gonna go to Blue Dog tonight and get them to make that drink.
Yeah.
Read the list.
no,
Yeah.
the
A
Welshman
accent-
and
said
then you
this
will
was
receive
real.
no credit.
No, the Bloody Mary Queen of Scots drink that has to be made. That is-
Yeah.
just has to be made. So,
Oh
moments.
my god, that
So
would be
what's
amazing.
the consistency of the drink? Because I like
Thick, like me.
Thick.
Thick like anyone who's going to pay
Yeah.
£85
Yeah,
to drink
exactly.
it.
Like the
anyone who
cholesterol
comes
in
to Scotland
your
who's
arteries.
just like, where can I get a deep fried Mars bar? Probably a chip shop in Edinburgh. That's about it. I don't know.
No, you can
well,
get
the
them
first-
any chippy.
The
Any
first
chippy.
one was Aberdeen. It was Aberdeen that started it. That was the
Yeah.
first place to do it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, you can get them from any chip shop. Like
I thought it was like some bloke in Paisley. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think
No, but
Yeah.
it was the first. Aberdeen was the first place to do it.
Aberdonians. There you go. Bigging
Yeah.
up.
but I like have you guys eaten one before? 'Cause
I've not had
I've
one.
not had one out of
Do you know,
principle.
is that-
Yeah.
As any Scottish
It's
person
not
really
a
has one,
Scottish. Yeah, it's
No,
not a Scottish thing.
See, Mike Myers said it the best. Have you seen So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you were going to do Fat Bastard.
No,
then.
my
I was
favorite.
like,
no,
oh,
no.
That's me thinking I was going to fuck
moving
off
on,
everyone in
awful,
Scotland.
but no, my favorite line from So I Married an Axe Murderer, past all the jokes, is just where he says that I believe that most Scottish cuisine's based on a dare. And I was like, how fucking good is that? Because he's talking about haggis, because he's buying one for it. That's how he meets the girl and all that kind of stuff. And she goes, have you tried it? He went, no, it's repulsive. And then most Scottish cuisine's based on a dare. And I was like, yeah, the deep fried Mars bar, the deep fried pizza, it is. It's like, go on, eat it. I'll put some hair in your balls. It's got that fucking, it's got that feel.
Have you had deep fried ice cream before?
See, it's like fuck science.
No, I had that in a Chinese restaurant the first time because I saw it on the menu and I was like, I think that's a typo. It was not a typo. They get like really cold frozen ice cream, batter it and fry it very
This is
quickly.
hot ice cream, yeah.
No, and it maintains its structural
it's all
integrity
fine, yeah.
within
That's
the
what they do with the
batter.
Mars bar as well. They
It's
have
frozen,
to freeze
yeah.
it first.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would just melt.
So you get a nice science lesson as well. yeah.
Well, when things go cold, they freeze.
Yeah. yeah.
Science.
Well, the most surely the most Scottish thing is like deep fried nothing at all. You know, when they just like throw a bit of
Vienna.
stuff in.
Sorry.
The batter.
Yeah, but they just throw a bit of batter in.
Yeah.
And what you get is chips and some batter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to have batter other than we just want some batter.
Yeah.
There's
like when
no
I-
attempt to legitimize it by battering a thing.
That's very
Why have a
Scottish
thing
again.
when you
There, I was going to say. That's pretty much. Yeah, that's
You've just
Soggy Hall
maximised,
Street
yeah.
on Saturday night. You're just going, hey, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, can you imagine like Aberdeen, you know, that night in the 80s, like a guy's just walked in, he's embarrassed about just asking for batter. So he gets like panics. It's like buying condoms when it's a young girl at the chemist. It's like, can I have a deep fried Mars bar?
Sure you can, son. There you go.
What would you call them though if it was just battered, and then deep fried again? Would you call them batter balls? What would you call them? Like,
Well, we are now.
That's what we call them. Like, okay,
Because I can,
batter balls.
You know,
yeah.
it's,
Not only do I want to call it that, I want that to be my nickname.
If you do a rap
really?
battle, that's your.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that?
Batter balls.
Batter balls.
Yeah.
Oh, here's all batter balls coming in. Hey guys.
Coming in.
no. Butterball.
Did someone say my name?
If you drop a rap album, that has to be your name.
Batter
Yeah,
balls.
batter balls.
MC Butterball.
The Scottish rap scene will
Mick
ignite.
Butterballs.
Oh, yes,
It would be
please.
Mick Butterballs. Is that MC Butterballs? No, it's Mick Butterballs.
Batter balls.
Guys, this
round
is
are we on?
amazing.
I think we're.
New cocktails.
Yeah, we are. Ben's new
This is
cocktail.
my new cocktail.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I was thinking about this. I fucking hate cocktails. It's not that I dislike alcohol going inside my body. The host has now left the room for some reason.
He did that in the first one as well, and it was very disconcerting.
Sentiment so heavily.
feel like I've upset
Yeah.
Ian.
We can now just talk about him, and he can listen to this in the edit. Like, so he can just take this all out. Like, we're just increasing his workload.
I was getting my bevy.
That's good. Aye, that's fine.
I don't. I'm okay. I'm a gulper, guys. I don't deal with small amount of alcohol very well. I'm very much a quantity over quality type of person.
Bollocks, I wish I'd known that.
What I would like is a truthful cocktail. No one gives a fuck how a cocktail is presented. I just want to go in and I want to have a cocktail which is like the drink that I would make myself after I've gotten ready, but before I go out. So I want like as much Captain Morgan's as I want,
yes.
maybe half a pint of Captain Morgan's with some maybe flat lemonade, whatever's in the fridge, in a tumbler that I've just pulled, still kind of half dirty, out of the sink and given a rinse. I want that, and then
I've been
maybe
in that bar.
then tell me where it is because that's the perfect bar for me.
I was in Barcelona, and literally I got that. It was like €10, and it was a giant cup, like it was a plastic novelty
my
amusement
God.
park cup.
Okay, let's call it the White Russian Roulette. Let's call it that. And I want it served in like a Coke bottle, but it's definitely the color of not Coke. And
Plastic or glass?
Got a plastic bottle.
Plastic,
but you don't see the bottle because it's presented to you in your bag.
In your bag.
So you've got to like sneakily go to the toilet, take a drink, come back.
Nice.
Or do it under the table when nobody's looking. Like there's points. There's a point system. If the bar people fail to see you taking it, you've won.
I'm liking all of this because it's not just a cocktail. It's an event.
It's the whole experience.
Yeah.
It's the Jake experience.
I'm selling a lifestyle. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want as much booze in my drink as I deem fit.
You were made for this podcast. I swear to God.
When I saw the writers' brief, I was so fucking excited to be part of this. This is, oh my God. I mean, I've multiple jokes for the final round.
The whole point of this is actually it's meant to move to being a live show, right?
Yeah.
Like a proper panel table,
Yeah.
that all that kind of stuff. You must come back to do it.
Oh my
You
God,
must.
yes, please.
Right.
I mean, only if I win this podcast.
You've
if I
already
win
won this
installment.
podcast. You have already won this
I think,
podcast.
yeah.
In fact,
Sorry, you racist Scots. Well,
in fact, I'll let you win. John Gavin was on last time. I'll let you win his too. I don't care. It's like you can.
Brilliant.
I'll backdate wins.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I'm God in this podcast. I don't give a fuck.
So modest.
You know, no, because it's one of the things is we play this podcast. It's not to win it.
Yeah.
Like most of life, it's not about winning. It's about not losing. Right.
Well, it's about picking up the tab, I hear, as well.
That's
as part of
it.
the right.
Whoever actually loses the podcast buys the drinks, which is, only fair. So,
So as Scott to Scott, who's picking up the tab?
it's definitely
Muslim or
Raheil.
Welsh?
It's definitely Raheil.
No. It's definitely
I mean, it's Ramadan. It's Ramadan. I can't.
Exactly.
Which means you
There's
can
no
afford
rule.
it. You've not been buying drink all month.
To your friends. Yeah. No rule about.
I mean, it's
charitable.
technically an act of charity, I suppose.
exactly.
But yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Like,
Jeff Bridges.
we'll
Jeff
that Jeff Bridges when we come.
Jeff Bridges
Yeah,
when we
come
come
to
to it.
Arms outstretched.
Okay,
Where's
so
our money, Ricky?
now we're
Can
going
you
to
do episode titles? Because that's the
Yeah.
episode title. Cross that
Oh, we
Jeff
should
Bridges when we come
definitely.
to it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next section. My favourite section of the entire show is we're going to have Finish the Alco quote. This is basically I read out the start of a very famous quote about alcohol, and you get to finish it with your own ending. So, alcohol is the anesthesia by which?
By which I, William Shakespeare, doth discover mine own self responsible for such as this traffic accident.
Wow, that was quite a sentence.
Took me on a journey there.
Right. Alcohol is the anesthesia by which?
I've just wrote, I numb myself into being agreeable, which is maybe more truthful than funny.
Alcohol
Is this
the
therapy?
anesthesia
Yeah.
by which, Raheil?
We endure the numbness of existence. I'm being inspired
thought
by
mine
Thomas.
was-
Okay, so the actual quote is alcohol is by the anesthesia by which we endure the operation of life. So you're basically just paraphrasing that. It's George Bernard's short, of course.
Mine was. Say
Another one. The alcohol is the anesthesia by which?
It would be actually impossible to say alcohol is the anesthesia.
Yes,
Yeah.
and which I proved several times. And, I wrote these,
Alcohol
so
is
I mean,
the
I literally
anesthesia.
picked this.
Yeah.
So
Alcohol is the. It was
I mean, you know what?
anesthesia. Is it anesthesia?
I may have lost this podcast today. I may have lost it.
I totally like your Tinder
Oh,
profile,
fucking-
Anastasia.
So I'm
Anastasia is a good movie, but it's a good Disney movie.
Yeah, yeah.
She's also a really great 90s recording artist.
I fear I may have lost control of this round. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. To some, it's a six-pack. To me,
To some, it's a six-pack. To others, it's nowhere near enough.
I'll get behind that sentence. I get that. To some, it's a six-pack. To me,
It's intersecting fat folds. That's what I say. You know, some people think it's muscle. It's just intersecting fat folds.
to me, it's a six-pack.
To me, it is a six-pack, but also it's an alcoholic utility belt.
Oh, I like
There
that.
you go. That's more of a Batman one.
I like the
Alcohol
Batman
utility
reference.
belt, yeah.
To me, it's a six-pack. So to some, it's a six-pack. To me,
It's just my stomach.
oh wow.
Because this is a
didn't take
podcast.
notes.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bit of a visual
Looking at
joke.
my notes.
So
Two
Ben,
answers, by the way,
to me,
very
it's a six-pack.
Okay.
So to some, it's a six-pack. To me,
To some, it's a six-pack. To me, it's 8 points on my license.
okay, we'll move to the real. To some, it's a six-pack. To me, it's a support group. I really have not drank far too much for this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. The problem with the world is.
The problem with the world is it's foreigners, isn't it?
I say Ben, not Farage. Thomas, the problem with the world is.
I have to share it with everyone else.
I like that. It's a bit kind of dark, but fair enough. Raheil, the problem with the world is.
Trump. There you go.
Very specific.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Ben. Ben, the problem with the world is.
It would actually be quicker to get everywhere if it actually was flat.
Yeah. Damn you, science. So,
Reveal
Ben, when
simulation
I read
podcast.
of the evils of drinking,
I thought that would make a great movie.
yeah, wouldn't it? I like the idea when he says, I gave up drinking for good, and I just did drink for evil.
Oh yeah, so the writing brief for this is like, we'll get to the end of it and why the person was not in favour of reading about it.
Yeah.
Weirdly, all of mine were, let's read more about the evils of drinking.
So, Thomas, when I read of the evils of drinking, I...
Got into summoning spirits.
Oh.
And borderline puns.
I like that. So it's fucking... Raheil, when I read of the evils of drinking, I...
Converted to Islam.
You didn't convert. You were
I
kind
know I
of...
was born in the fold.
You were
Yeah.
kind of pre-packaged.
Yeah. I mean,
Terrible at making choices. I
Yeah.
don't think that's the one I would make.
God made that choice for me.
anyone. When I read of the evils of drinking, I...
I saw it more as a practical textbook.
When I read of the evils of drinking, I... No one? No, okay, well...
I thought the book on tape was better. Read by Tony Slattery.
So,
And then you all converted to Islam.
And we all converted to Islam. It was when I read of the evils of drinking, I gave up reading. Sorry. So,
People stopped me to ask. Oh, sorry. People asked me to stop doing it out loud.
oh, you've definitely won this. You just
On the train to their children.
so. The next one. The hard part about being a bartender is Ben.
Choosing whether you should have facial hair that's a handlebar mustache. That's so
Depends
poor.
on the
He
bus.
is never getting served in Edinburgh again. That's literally. Thomas, the hardest part about being a bartender is.
Pretending to give a shit about people's problems for minimum wage.
That's more dark than funny, but fair enough.
There we go.
The hard thing about being a bartender is, Raheil.
Actually, I'm a mixologist.
DSC in mixology.
Yeah,
that
actually,
everyone's
yeah.
working
I
towards.
always thought the hardest thing about being a bartender is pretending you're Australian. But that's
Is mixing business with pleasure.
oh, nice. The hardest thing about being a bartender is anyone?
Thinking up a good lie for your high school reunion. How you actually are.
Yeah.
I'm an astronaut.
I invented the post-it note. Oh no, we're channeling Romy's and Michelle's high school reunion here. That's fucking awful.
Didn't the guy from the Monkees actually do that though?
Wow, if that's a real fact, that's amazing.
No. What is it? So one of the Monkees set up MTV, and he did so with the money that his uncle gave him from setting up post-it notes or something.
Now that might be
crazy.
true.
I might be just talking about ourselves.
But,
Yeah, we need
I
a
know
real
that-
fact checker on this show.
I was going to say, that's one of the functions Elliot will do. Okay, so we'll move on. The real quote was the hard part about being a bartender is figuring out who is drunk and who is just stupid. So, yeah, I feel that pain. So, we'll move on. I would rather have a bottle in front of me than... Ben.
I would rather have a bottle in front of me than all of my friends doing this intervention.
That feels like that's happened. Is there a story there?
You got all of that. You deserve that. I would rather have a bottle in front of me than...
For it to hit me in the back of the head? I don't know.
I like it. Yours is all practical advice.
Yeah,
It
you
is,
like
it
to see
is.
your problems coming at you.
I'd like to try and at least duck rather than just smash into me. Yeah.
I would rather have a bottle in front of me than...
Inside me. Again, it's quite practical.
Knowing you, I don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would rather have a bottle in front of me than...
than this loveless marriage.
Okay, no, it's definitely... I would rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. One of my favourites, Tom Waits. So, here we go. If I had to live my life over, I'd
I'd be doubly disappointed.
If I had to live my life over, I'd...
Go insane from knowing the outcome of every situation I could remember. That's a horrible sort of time traveler's paradox. You'd be really bored at just doing all the shit you could remember. And also this. I would probably not turn up to this. I'd be like, fuck it. I can do
Double
something
tap
else.
that joke in the head, Julie. Didn't you? I'd rather have if I'd lived my life over, I'd...
Be reincarnated as a Scientologist.
Why?
Because of irony.
Because you'd have another. Because you'd have another religion to get material out of.
Yeah.
If I had to live my life over, I'd...
was a take on Thomas's. I'd be amazing at everything as a baby and really enjoy freaking everyone out.
Started as a 3-year-old.
Remembering all the shit, but going back and starting.
3-year-old with a full glass of wine going, no.
The intelligence of like an 80-year-old man in a toddler's body. There we go. Beautiful.
Oh man, the sickest Benjamin Button movie ever made.
Going back to the Catholic things we were talking about earlier.
It's like a hard candy situation. What?
If I had to live my life over, I'd
Be white.
Have some of mine.
I mean, if we were all choosing, if it was a
dangerously
choice,
close to a Louis C.K. sketch there. So, and we're not allowed to talk about him anymore because he's the devil, apparently.
Yeah.
Right? So, if I lived my life over, I'd live it over a saloon that was W.C. Fields.
Last call for alcohol.
So, with the final bell ringing, all that's left for us to do is ask Elliot about the bill.
Yes, it is time to close the doors and give out the scores. Because the monthly recommendation of alcoholic units is 90, players are ranked out of a total of 90 units. After this month's duel of drunk debauchery, this week's swill swat is Ben Verth with a unit total of 85. In the middle is Thomas Craven with a total unit of 62. And in last place, picking up the tab, is this month's tipple twat Raheil with 45.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, please like, share and subscribe. Taking part in this month in drinking history was Thomas Craven, Raheil A and Ben Verth. The questions were attempted to be asked by me, Ian TC, and keeping an eye on the bar tab was Elliot Simpson. Remember, this is just a bit of fun. Please always drink responsibly, and if you have any problems with alcohol, please go to the website drinkaware.co.uk. This podcast was sponsored by the Comedian Tattoo, and you can find out more about comedy events on the website goodtattoos.com/comedy.
Time, please!